Where's my water? Be right back. Lifeblood. All right, so I gotta set up some dumbbells if I want to use them. No, already my camera goes. Let's get that light out of the picture. Ooh. Crosbo, how's it going? Oh, what a day today was. I wasn't happy about having an election right now, but I still went out and voted. You're taking off? Well, thanks for the confidence. Thanks for dropping by. Glad you're able to make it out, even if it was only for a bit. And have a good night. I wonder if it might be beneficial to throw a towel over that light that I believe is causing my camera to go out of focus. Man, now it's... Fairwolf, how's it going? Whoa. Yeah, I just came back from there playing some badminton. All right, so let's add some weight to that. Oh, how long do you typically go to the gym for? An hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours. It varies. Where I'm at, my gym, I have to book sessions, and they used to be an hour and a half sessions, but now they're 2 hour sessions. So I'm working out for 2 hours every day. Chest with only dumbbells. Well, it's perfectly fine to bench today if you aren't overtaxed. If you feel up for it, go ahead. The worst case scenario is that if you're not fully recovered, it's just not going to be as efficient, but you'll still get some sort of, you'll still be able to improve even if you're not at max efficiency. But it comes down to how hard you trained the day before and how sore you are today. So if you don't feel like you're sore enough, if you didn't say get a lot of hypertrophy, I'll give you an example. A lot of people train to build big muscle. A lot of other people train to get as strong as possible while being as small as possible. And a big part of how to do that is to train the muscles without, exert yourself without breaking down the muscle tissue. And if you're doing static, like say you got 2 bars and you try to push them together as hard as you can, and you just squeeze and you squeeze and you squeeze, you can get a really good, you can work your muscles really nicely, without the motion, without the eccentric motion, you're not going to break down muscle tissue as much. So you're going to get strong without building as much size. Whereas if you attack the muscle tissue, break it down, it's better to give it time to recover. But often your body will let you know, wow, this is not recovered, or I got it. Such a hard workout yesterday, I'm going to need a couple days off. But if you had a workout and the next day, it's like myself. I used to do pull-ups every day. I just like doing pull-ups. It's a good warm-up. It wasn't even that hard for me. I wouldn't take myself to failure. I wouldn't do 30. I got myself up to doing 100 pull-ups a day as basically a warm-up, and it was 15 minutes. It's just done. It didn't really break my muscle tissue down very more because I wasn't increasing the load. I wasn't increasing the rep size. I was doing stuff that I was comfortable with, but as I got stronger, my muscles were able to handle the load without actually breaking down much muscle tissue. But it was good for maintaining what I had, and also good for the shoulders. All right, next set. I want to check something out real quick. All right. I made protein bars last night. They are the best thing ever. I also made protein pudding as well as French toast. I made my meats and my vegetables. I ate leftover rice today, so I'm going to have to make rice before my next meal. Hey, how's it going? Feels like it's been a while. How have you been? This not a garden implement. Workout's just going. It's nothing really special, but I was playing badminton today. I voted, I worked, and today's just a good day. I'm going to put in a couple hours. I might do, a couple days ago, I streamed the very first video game I ever played in my entire life. And I streamed it. It brought me back down nostalgia lane. And I'm thinking I might do more of that. I might do a workout here and then take my laptop into the living room and I might stream some video games after. But who knows? By the time I'm done here, it might be too late. Thank you. I've been keeping it well groomed. You've been busy with school in a new place. Yeah, you were telling me that you're moving. Oh. Are you out of boxes yet? For myself, I got myself 90% out of boxes, like right away, within days, and then I need like 2 months to get rid of the last like 10%. I had to get rid of some stuff to bring new stuff in. All right, let's add to the weight. Oh, so you're basically living in a construction zone then. I've been there. Ugh, come out of here. So a couple years ago, at my old place, the pipes underneath my bathtub rusted and just let out nonstop water, and it was dripping down to the person below me. And I was living in an apartment, and so they came in, and I got a whole new bathroom, but they had to fix up some flooring, and I was living, and they did a bunch of work right away, but then they left me for like 6 months living in a construction zone, and I got tired of cleaning up around there because I'd clean up and then they'd make more construction mess. And then when I finally quit cleaning up all like in that area, and I just stayed out of it, and the management company got all pissed at me and sent me a bunch of mean letters telling me to clean up more, or they were going to do some follow-up action. They sent me a very aggressive letter. Meanwhile, it's like My place is a mess, but that's all your construction junk. Whereas my section was still clean. Arcanus, how's it going? Your emotes are showing up. I got cheer. I got a book. I don't have any book. I don't have a book to emulate. And I got a, how's the heart look? Like that. Yeah. My end, it comes up. How's it going tonight? I voted. I wasn't happy about holding elections at this time. I gotta turn my volume down just a little bit. This song just is like twice as loud as all the other ones. But ultimately, it was relatively pain-free. I walked in and I walked out. I voted like an hour before it closed, and there was a guy who was greeting everybody at the front door. And my voting station, they've moved it from the big centers to different community like schools, churches, and mine was in a Catholic church that was renovated to become a Catholic school. And there's one door that's both the entrance and the exit. And there's this guy who's just sitting there at the front, like in the doorway. He's like getting people's papers and telling people where to go. But he's just standing there right in the doorway and wants everyone to squeeze by him. And the guy was completely taken aback that I told him to get out of the way. I'm like, okay, can you move so I can get through, please? And he's looking like he's just everybody else was just content to just squeeze past this guy. Meanwhile, this guy has shared his space with like hundreds, if not thousands of people that he doesn't know, and I want nothing to do with him. OM Caleb 4, Dennis 9. Ah, oh, crap. Okay. Want to become famous? Not really. So, bye-bye. That is a good idea. What do I do? I just type /mod and then whoops. And I don't know. I just hit buttons. I was so that worked. Do you have the? I went /mod. There's already a moderator. Okay. Thanks for reminding me. I just hit a button. I don't think he'll be back, even if it's just a timeout. Grime, how's it going? Whew. Yeah, so my coworker, Trevor, his last day was on Friday. And the entire time I've worked there, well, not even the entire time I worked there, but the last like 4 years, 5 years, I always have Trevor stories where the guy is just like, his work that he does is just really, really poor. And there was a time where, at first I was just getting mad at the guy because I thought he stopped caring. Because he's been at the company longer than I have, and he originally trained me to do some work, and so I know that he knows how to do it. And then suddenly, like years later, he's coming to me as if he's never done it before, and every job he has is like, teach me from the ground up again. It's like, dude, you've been working there like 11 years. And then at first I just thought he stopped caring. I started to get a little bit annoyed. But then I was working designing something with him, and like listening to how his brain works, like I actually got worried for the guy. Like I think something might be, I think he's having problems. It's like suddenly he can't comprehend that if you put a 2 meter diameter pipe 1 meter below, like you put the bottom of it 1 meter below ground, there's gonna be 1 meter sticking up out of ground. It's something like that sort of simple. Or you want water to go from here to here, right? This elevation has to be higher, and then it'll slope down, and you just get it out of there. But it was. That was the end of that song. Yeah, he's. The problem is I'm worried about him that he's getting himself into trouble in the future, because on paper he looks really good. He's been part of the safety committee for a decade. He just sort of shows up, and he might be opinionated sometimes, but none of his ideas actually have that much merit. He does environmental stuff. I don't do any environmental work, so I have no opinion on his work. He just got the work done, and it was okay. So he's our main environmental guy. And then we got another guy that came in, and apparently Trevor had been doing it wrong for years, and it was a miracle that our company didn't get into trouble. So Trevor stopped getting environmental work after that, and so he's getting a little bit upset about that. So he moved on to another company where he got a job as like higher on the food chain, where he's supervising like a dozen junior environmental technologists. And like I'm worried in like 6 months they're gonna put the paper person superimposed over the real life person, then he's gonna be SOL. But I remember one time we sent him off to a job site. So after this job, he almost single-handedly bankrupted our company to the point where it's like a $50 million building, and simple, the clients, they want piles put in. They want us to lay out where the pile locations are going to be. Okay, so just go there, put a pin, like use a GPS, put a pin in the ground. It's simple. Like I had a GPS model laid into the GPS. You just go in and you can get anything they want. Well, the guy, he just walks up and he's holding the rod at an angle like this, and he lays it down. He says, okay, it's right here. Then he moves on. And I went back later. Every pile, the closest he got was within 1 foot of where it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, this thing, I went back out there. I got it within a centimeter. And there goes my camera. And I ended up going there on a Sunday night to relay out all the piles because they were starting to install them on Monday. And so luckily I was able to catch it, go to the site, and fix this whole problem. Otherwise, they would have installed all these piles, put the building up, or start to actually put the building up, realize everything's off, and then we bought all the work that's been done so far, as well as the work that was needed to replace it. And so after that moment, my boss sent him to go work in a mine for 8 months. So suddenly he just disappeared. They sent him to go work in a mine. And okay, so yeah, it's a damn camera. Let's see if I can shock it with some. Wah! Wah! All right, I just want to get my set done. But yeah, it was his last day Friday, and like anybody else would have been fired, but my boss has a soft spot for the guy. But he wore out everybody else's goodwill in the office, and his farewell party was, I was surprised by how lackluster it was compared to everything else. Right? I showed up and I'm like talking to the guy, like, how's it going? What's your future plans and all that? But like the guy's trying to become like not an engineer, but a certified engineering technologist. That's what he is. But he's not able to write a report that's just filled with spelling mistakes that are unnecessary, like getting the address wrong, or like 4 different places having the address wrong 4 different times, or misspelling the client's name, or just whew. But I got to interview his replacement, and his replacement is somebody from Nepal. I can't pronounce his name yet. I'm gonna have to talk to him again. And I think his nickname is Saj, but I'm not sure. I don't want to butcher it. But the guy basically checked off every box for what we would want for Trevor's position. And it's that was actually my first time interviewing anybody at the company. And this was last Thursday. It got to the point where I was expecting to like ask him some questions that could technically that could become sort of gotcha questions if somebody tries to talk about something that they don't really know about. But I walk right in and the guy just starts explaining stuff, and he like with how he's explaining it, you know that he knows what he knows what he's talking about. And even when he's describing his experience, if in his experiences he wasn't as involved as he says he was, if he was just like a layperson, just sort of getting experience with this, but not taking the primary role, that would have still been good enough that we could take him and then mold him to what we need. So I think we got a good employee coming up in a week and a half. Hey, Sulfuric. I am 5'11", 190 pounds. I've been 190 pounds more or less for probably like 5 months now. I started streaming back in January, and I was 180 pounds at the time. And I just gone from like, I don't even remember anymore. It was like 225, 230, all the way down to below 180 from end of October, November, December, and then January 1st is when I sort of picked myself back up. I'm like, okay, it's New Year. You gotta stop the the blood loss here and just show up every day and everything else will work out. But at the time, I just wasn't enjoying my home workouts. So I started streaming, and I never expected to enjoy as much as I do, but I really have. I've enjoyed this last year, spending it with you guys. I got some regulars. I got new people that drop in from time to time. A lot of my streams have just become fitness advice, but every so often I'll branch out from that. I met some good people. Yeah, the Canadian election. I wasn't happy about having it right now in the middle of a pandemic, but it was still more streamlined than I was expecting. So I was pretty much in and out. I avoided contact with any other person like the plague. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting situation where what I prefer to happen in the election, I think is actually going to happen. If you look at each individual person's platforms, I don't have that much faith in any single party, but I I understand that if one party has more power right now, that maybe potentially that COVID, like the fight against COVID could take place more direct with things implemented smoother. But at the same time, I don't trust any one party. And I like the idea of having every other party, keep every other party in check while maintaining more or less a status quo. And I think that's what we're going to get. The Liberals were hoping to get a majority. Meanwhile, it's a tight run between Conservatives and Liberals. And the other parties have good ideals, but they're just not a real practical plan. Yeah, well, that a little voice hopes that they lose, right? Because they call it a snap election. Well, all you hear on the radio and on the news is like attack ads, or like not the news, but like TV attack ads, attack ads. Like how dare they call a $600 million election? And meanwhile, I hear attack ads. I'm more likely to be against the person throwing the attack ads, right? Like you're not seeing the Liberals. Like the attack ads were Conservatives against but at the same time, attack ads work. That's why they're done. It's because they work. And I don't like that, but that's the way things are. Anyways, let me get caught up on chat here. We're about to have your country's election next year, May. Well, right now, the science behind what's going on has been better streamlined. We have better ideas of what works and what doesn't. It's just politics are still getting in the way. And at the same time, it's which you choose the devil on this shoulder or the devil on that shoulder. Or you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I love my music. I want to add some more weight for this. I should switch this up to my forearms. That's what I'm gonna do. So I got a pair of dumbbells with back grips on them, but maybe I'll just throw back grips on these. Keep the same weight and just make it more difficult. And after utilizing everything in my arm, more emphasis on the forearm. Makes the exercise a whole lot harder. These things are sliding around. I think I should use my other dumbbells. Yeah, that's, I love badminton. I'm actually quite good at it. I guess I didn't put my badminton rackets back. Normally my badminton rackets stayed here. I put it back. I did. There's another one. What did I do with it? Where's my badminton? I've only got one. Oh, there it is. Oh. I'm losing my mind. Where? I can't. Where is my badminton racket? Oh, it's right here the whole time. It's invisible. So, things coming apart on me. So, basically keep the thing loose in my hands, and then I snap. So it's snap, snap. And then when you're doing backhand, it comes down to just speed. So without very much effort, I can clear the thing. But what will often happen, if I have to wear gloves when I play badminton, or I'll actually bruise my hand in here from the snap. Every time I snap, this thing punches me in the palm of the hand. Let me put this back. I got 4 badminton rackets here, but I couldn't find the one I use and that I like. Well, even having the power to hit the birdie, clear it, drop it, and all that, it comes down to I got distracted because I did read that message right before that message got deleted. I'll address that first. Women tend to respond, just better to like treat them as a person. And if you're just able to make them laugh, like you don't need really any gimmicks. It's more about how you make them feel. But then, so back to badminton. Say you have the power to flick your wrist, clear it, or smash really hard. Well, that is nice and all, but that should just be the base. You win more games by playing with your head. When I was 18, I got myself ranked second in my province actually when I was 17, I guess, and when I was in grade 12, I was 17, I got myself ranked second in the province for under 18. And at that time, if that 17-year-old was to play my 28-year-old self, my 17-year-old self wouldn't have got a single point. All my 17-year-old self used like to do is just smash all the time, and maybe try these fancy drops, but smash drop. Whereas I got myself ranked 7th in my province for adults, and I did that by hitting the birdie to one of the 4 corners, and that's it. So if I could smash, I'd smash, but I'd clear it to this corner, and then maybe I'd drop it to the other corner, and then mix it up and get my opponent like running from here and there, and then so the only way to beat me would be to do the same thing to me, and then whoever ran out of energy first lost, unless you could somehow trick me, or if you had a smash that I couldn't return, which was very unlikely because I was very good at reading people, and I out-cardioed everybody, and I had fast reflexes. My one handicap was that I spent my entire time playing with the rubber shuttlecocks, whereas in tournaments, it was all feathered birdies. And those things, it was a completely different game, because the feathered shuttlecocks, they speed up really fast to start, and then they slow down. So I would go to clear it, but if I didn't hit it right in the racket, I'm inadvertently setting my opponent up to smash it at me, because I think I cleared it, but because I'm unfamiliar with the birdie, it speeds up really fast, and then it doesn't make it. And if it doesn't make it within, say, 4 inches of the back line, you're setting yourself up for a bad time, because then it's coming back at you. Yeah, that was me. But I just like doing what I like doing, and I also had I hated losing. I would just like get frustrated and like, oh, I'm so bad. Like, what's going on? And I still hate losing, but I think I've grown a little bit as a person since. But also with badminton, I haven't played badminton since I herniated my disc in 2018. So up until maybe 2 months ago, I never played badminton for over 2 years. And I herniated my disc. I couldn't play badminton. I was like it was completely beyond me. But I started playing again. And the best thing is I'm so nimble on my feet. It's like I have that square court, and I am the master of it. I can get wherever I want to get, and I'm pivoting, and I have that muscle memory in me. And I was like, and a lot of it's being as efficient as possible. Like get there quick, and then get back in the center. And you lost interest quickly in things that you weren't actually good at. Yeah. But thing is at that point, the gifted end up eventually getting dominated by the gifted who put in the hard work. Maybe that's not as relevant as I was first thinking, but all right, so next set with these back grips here. But I remember I started playing badminton in grade 4, but we only played half courts. So for the longest time, that gave me a misconception of what badminton was. A lot of bad habits to break. And I remember a lot of people being hesitant to play against me because they'd be worried that, hey, I'm just a beginner, and I'm worried you're just going to smash at me, right? Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be much, much meaner, and you're not even going to realize it. And I can play with somebody who's never played before. I just get a little bit of like move my body a little bit. I'm having fun. But what I will do is I will find out how far I can hit the birdie away from this person. Not that they can get it, but that they will go for it. And I will not I will purposely not hit the best shots. Instead, because if I do like a perfect drop, they'll just look at it and they'll be like, I can't get that. Poof, set's over, right? Or rally's over. Instead, I'll hit it a little bit, like I'll hit it where they think that they can get to it, so they run for it. And then I will find out how far I can get back that they'll still run for it. And I'll just have this person running around the court for an hour or until they're a puddle on the ground. And it's like I'm not smashing at them, like I'm never smashing at them, but I'm just hitting the birdie. Like I'm just like I could just do nothing but clear. Just hit it, clear it over there, clear it over there. Normally I get myself like within an inch of the back line. Instead, I might hit it to the line, like the one line further, like one line back to the double serving line. But if I'm still hitting it to the side by side, if they're still running for it, I'm still happy. And I remember playing people on doubles and still getting them to run. And then on doubles, it's like if you're playing it well, you're circling around each other the whole time. So you're like here and you're sort of coming like one person's in front and you go side by side and switch. Or you can play basically fronts and backs where one person is going to stay up at the front unless you're playing side by sides. But it was doubles that made me a really good badminton player. It wasn't singles. So I only played singles until I was 18. And then I only played doubles. And only playing doubles made me a much, much better badminton player. All right, so I'm going to bring out another toy here. I should have come up with a name for this guy. Piece of galvanized PVC pipe with a weight at the bottom. I built this myself, got the pipe, cut it in half. I got a couple different diameters of this thing, but this is the thickest one. This is the thickest one I have, and this is the only one I ever end up using. Drilled a hole through it, stuck some rubber so that it doesn't fray the rope, tied the rope, steered the rope with a good old flame, and then attached it to a chain where I can load it up with weights. And this one here, if you have it by your waist and you twist, you can probably lift like 5 times as much. But you don't get any real better effect into your forearms, whereas you hold it out, you get a lot of forearms. You also get some shoulders. Yeah, my viewer count has been doing this all workout. I watch. I go 1, 3, 1, 7, 1, 2. It's I'm not sure how quickly that thing gets updated. Yeah, you feel the pump. I'm feeling it right in here right now. I don't know what time it is. I've been going for 53 minutes. Starting to get hot. Whew. Oh, that's hard to do. I'm feeling it. My whole, from my elbow down, starting to get stiff. I can feel the lactic acid building up. Woo! Oh. Yeah, I ended up reading it like a second before you removed it, and I was in the middle of speaking, like mid sentence. I read that, like, and then I saw it go away, and I'm like thinking about that, like, okay. Oh. But it's like I don't have to validate that, but at the same time, it's like that isn't productive. Like it's sort of I'd rather like sort of nudge people on a better path. City life, how's it going? Oh, it's been a good day. I've been running around. Can't believe it's only Monday. I've got to go out of town Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll see how that affects my workouts. I voted. I wasn't happy about having an election right now, but ultimately it ran pretty smoothly, and I don't have any more complaints. Yeah, it was. Normally it was election booths are run out of like these like bigger super centers. Now It's done out of smaller communities. Mine was done out of a Catholic school, a Catholic school building that used to be a church. I've been having really tight glutes to the point where it's been affecting my lower back the last really the last week, and I've been stretching my glutes throughout the day. I've been making some progress, but I haven't stopped doing my leg workouts. So it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? Just take a break. But I don't wanna. I wanna lift heavy weights. I wanna squeeze those muscles. I wanna feel my ass just I want to put like 400 pounds on my waist and just hip thrust it up and feel like a boss. But my body is telling me to slow down a little bit. Yeah. Well, what I did Friday and what I did today is I was able to take my lunch break and I went out into my car, and I basically laid in my car and I stretched out my glute muscle in the car, and I fell asleep in that position for half an hour, set my alarm, woke up, I did the other side, did it for half an hour, and after half an hour of just stretching one muscle, you wake up and it's rough. It's not unbearable, but you wake up and you're like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And but I can fall asleep anywhere, and I can fall asleep like that. So I just like even before I register like the pain relief, I just move over, switch, and I just fall back asleep. And then afterwards, I get up and I'm starting walking. Like I'm sitting down at my desk, I gotta get up and I walk a lap around the office just to like walk it off. I'm like, whew. Yeah, there's a time and a place for long stretches. I remember earlier this year, I pulled my calf, and I was constantly on the ball of my feet, and I couldn't flatten out my feet. So as soon as I would sit down, it would tighten up, and I was basically on the ball of my. I was walking like this, and I couldn't straighten my leg. Like I absolutely couldn't. My calf muscle got pulled, and it was just completely locked. It was hard to rock and pretty much cramped up the whole time. And what I would do is I would lay on the ground and I'd push my feet against the wall, and then over time, the constant stretching would go from my ball of my feet, and then finally till my foot was flat on the ground, until my foot was finally flat on the wall. And it would take like 10 minutes just to get my foot fully at like a 90 degrees from my leg. And then I just sit there, and that's how I fell asleep. Because what would happen is every time I laid down, it would lock back up again. Every time I sat down for half an hour, it would lock up again. And I don't want to spend half an hour getting that out in the morning, so instead I just lay against the wall, and I'd wake up, and I'd be ready to go. Gubster, how's it going? Whew. Things still exciting every day for you? New experiences? Any new gym experiences? School experiences? Oh. Yeah. Sometimes a change of pace can be very, I don't know, very, it can help you recover mentally. I'm doing good. It's Monday. I was a little bit tired of work today because I was up late last night cooking. So I cooked all my vegetables. My fridge is full of vegetables that normally I would boil them or steam them. This time I just kept sticking them all in the oven. So I got tons of cauliflower and broccoli, and then I made myself chicken stir fry, which is chicken strips. I just sprayed like 10 calories of cooking oil on the pan, cooked my chicken strips, and added some sriracha sauce, as well as some banana pepper juice. It's a little bit of calories, but it's like I add like 50 calories to maybe 2,000 calories of like maybe 50 calories per 2,000 calories of chicken. So it doesn't really add much, but it adds a really big kick to the taste. And then I made French toast for the week, which is take my bread, soak in egg whites, and cook and fry the Jesus out of it until I get these really thick French toast that you eat 2 of them in the morning and you're absolutely stuffed. I made pudding. I made protein pudding, butterscotch chocolate protein pudding, and it's the best thing ever. Tastes so good. And I put that on top of my French toast. I also made my protein bars. So I have protein bars. I have been procrastinating making my protein bars ever since I moved back in June. But I've got to regularly make them because I make a batch and it lasts me about a month. But my pea syrup that I use is going to go bad early next year. So I gotta. Had your first pretty stressful day of uni, 2 labs at the exact. How does that work? How do you have 2 labs at the exact same time? Because that sounds like that's going to cause continuous problems for you. All right, I'm cheering you on, buddy. But I can see how they don't want people walking around. Everybody's liable for everything right now, and people like the companies themselves want to protect their butts, and it's important that they do so that they can keep running for everybody, right? So I remember my gym. I had friends that I like respect, and like we have like we talk a lot, and they're like really upset about like they were actually frustrated because they showed up. If you show up 15 minutes late, they lock the door. And then the policy is that you have to call them for them to let you in. They can see you from the door. So you're physically knock, they can see you, but they're not supposed to let you in because that's just the policies that got put in place. And the policies weren't the best policies, but they got put in place quickly to get everybody back up and running while being safe. And some of it was a little bit overdone, I agree, but at the same time, like you don't get mad at the workers because they're just like they got to follow the rules or they're going to lose their jobs. And my friend was just upset because they're looking at him, he's knocking on the door. He forgot his phone in his car, so he had to go back, get his phone, had to call them to let him in, and he was very frustrated. He was like angry, like, dude, I am happy. Like, he's like, why do they need 3 people there doing jobs that like 1 person can do? It's like, dude, I'm happy that these guys that there's enough work here for these 3 guys here to be at the desk, and like really, this is out of their hands. They're following policies, and yeah. I mean, so your 2 labs being due. Oh, so you had basically lab assignments that were due. My understanding of labs is when I went to university, I would have my 1.5-hour class, or maybe it's a 1-hour class, or even 3-hour class, depending on the class. But then afterwards, I would have a class, and some classes had labs, which were 2.5, 3-hour sessions where you go and you're not being taught anything, but you have an assignment to do. You go to you have TAs, teachers assistants, to help you through the work. And sometimes it's a group project, sometimes it's on your own, but you're there to complete the task. And then once you've done the assignments, you can hand it in and leave. but it's normally done right there in a 2.5 hour slot. So that sort of has been my understanding of labs. I graduated and I finished a 6-year degree in 3 years. And I was taking, at one point in time, I took 7 classes with 7 labs in one semester. So over 6 months, or maybe even less, whatever it was, 7 classes, 7 labs. It was horrible. I calculated, like I was working on school stuff from 7 in the morning till 11:30 at night. And I calculated that 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 11:30 at night, if I spent every hour on school, I was still 7 hours behind the recommended amount of time that each class wants you to spend on per week. Oh yeah, yeah. It's my understanding might not be, my experience might not be as relevant right now, simply because I've never done online classes. Probably 80% of the people that I graduated high school with actually did online university for their first year. Because I grew up in a small town. I graduated, I couldn't wait to get out, but a lot of people stayed in town for 1 year and they took online classes. So maybe they would be able to relate to those experiences a little bit more. And like myself, I can never imagine, like even back then, like online is so much more efficient now than it was like 15, Jesus. Jesus, how many years ago? Like 15 years ago, when I was out of high school. I'm 34. You guys can do the math. Um, okay, I'm gonna push myself a little bit harder on this set. I'm just gonna keep going until it starts to hurt. Echelon, how's it going? How many people in my town? I actually looked this up earlier today. So in my hometown, in the town that I grew up in, there were 500 people. 500 people in the town that I grew up in, and my town was 15 kilometers away from the big town, which had 4,000 people in it, and that's where they had the high school. And there were multiple communities all around this big town that everybody funneled to the big town to go to school. Well, like from high school, I had the option to go to the high school in grade 9 or grade 10. And I chose to stay in my intermediate school in grade 9 and go to the high school in grade 10. And I'd like to tell you there's some like altruistic reason for that or this or that. Really, it came down to there was a girl that I liked at my intermediate school. That's what it came down to. And then took that 15-minute ride to the high school every morning. Although it's actually more like half an hour because what is like homeschooling almost? Because I don't feel like I was ever homeschooled. When I first started working out, I started working out at home with a pair of dumbbells. And I worked out every day. I was going through some of the same exercises. I do some push-ups. I do some. I never did any pull-ups. I just had my dumbbells, and I did whatever I could think with them. I did a lot of like less efficient training regimens, and then from there, I spent a couple months, and I became a twig with arms. So I had I had lots of definition in my arms. Not so much in my legs or in my body, my chest, nothing. Then I went to the gym, and I had done my own research. And in my free time right now, I'll spend hours and hours looking up different fitness-related topics. I will spend time listening to different like nutritionists, different people in the fitness industry, people who are involved in bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongmen, combat sports, other types of sports. I'll find like scientists that I can. I will read the scientific studies themselves, and this whole process that like this whole regimen, I started that at home at a time when I wanted to lose weight. So my last 6 months of university, I was skinny my whole life, 140, 145 pounds. My last 6 months of university, I was pulling all-nighter after all-nighter, and I would just eat Pringles and drink chocolate milk all night, every night. And I got a gut. I became skinny fat for the first time in my life, and it freaked the heck out of me because all the guys in my family are like 300 plus pounds and just like really, really big, but also fat. And I didn't want that to be me. So I spoke with a nutritionist, sort of got some baseline, and then I did my own research. And I followed a program very similar to something that Elliot Hulse came out with at the time. At the time, Elliot Hulse, I love that guy. He was giving out quality information when the other information out there was that six packs shortcut guy who I absolutely hated. He would have ad after ad after ad on YouTube where he's basically feeding you garbage, and it just made me so mad. Like I just click how do I get these ads out of here? Porthos, how's it going? I am 5'11", 190 pounds. Yeah, Jeff Nippert, he is good. He's I follow him on Instagram. I'm not good at Instagram. I just started using it when I was streaming. Anyone who follows me on Instagram, I follow them right back. And just recently, I started. At first, I got a lot of cute animal ads, and so I clicked like. So I started getting tons of spam of cute animal pictures, and it was just like, hey, give me the cuteness. I can use that in my day. And then then I started liking some dance ads, and now I'm just getting spammed with these different dance communities that are putting together like flash mobs or different hip hop type dances, or they're giving tutorials. This is how you do this dubstep thing, and I've always been meaning to try them out, but I hate the six-pack shortcut guy. He was the first real commercial fitness guru who was selling you garbage. Like that I can't remember what his name is. He was the Asian guy. He wasn't ripped, right? But he had a really nice body, but he wasn't like ripped like he would tell you he was. But it's like, here, follow my 10-minute ab workout and you're gonna get a body like me. It's like, no. The new one is who's the new guy? Oh, this is guy. He's terrible. If I heard his name, I remember it. All right. So let's feel the burn in my forearms. I'm going to add some weight for this. I'm only going to add 5 pounds. I don't want to add. Where's the? So you don't need a lot of weight for this thing to really burn. Give me a sec. I'm probably off camera, but 20 pounds is near my max. I don't want to go near my max. I'm just going to have 15. And let's go. I've been drinking too much water. I'm feeling waterlogged. I'm losing skin from my hand on this thing. All right. I'm getting. Whew. I think we lightheaded. Let's keep going. Oh, I'm feeling my shoulders too. Okay. Ooh. I like props. Oh. That one burnt. Whew. That took a fair bit of energy out of me there. All right, so I want to get that weight back on my dumbbell, so just take this off. I'm stuck. There we go. Oh, here I am. Yeah, my viewer count has been going up and down quite rapidly today. It says I'm at 13 now. I started that set at like 7. Let's get the fat grips back going. All right. My forearms haven't, I can still feel the lactic acid in my forearms, but next set. Whew. So these are 30-pound dumbbells. They don't feel like 30 pounds though with the fat grips. I have a hard time gripping them. Okay. Woo. Oh. Oh. After a set of those, it's work to close your hand. Oh. Um, I'm trying to set that up. Maybe next weekend I can try to push for it. Uh, Re- Renata is a little bit sick right now, so she's got to recover first. And I don't want to start introducing a lot of new people into my space right now. They're starting up studio dancing again. So the dance studios are opening up. They're having lessons inside now. The weather's getting a little bit colder and it's getting darker. Um, like last month, every Wednesday, I was going and dancing in the park, but it was social distance and it was people on stage learn how to do solo salsa, bachata, and then maybe like 10 minutes away at another park, they were doing swing dancing, which is has a lot of iconic solo dances that I've never really learned, but I can watch somebody do it and I can follow along. I can kick when you kick. Welcome back, Gubster. Yeah, so Gubster, I did a dancing stream maybe almost 2 weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. It turned out a lot better than I was expecting it to, because I did a dancing stream very early on in my streaming life here, and I didn't have any control of chat. I just put on the video and we just danced, and every time we came to the chat, it was just filled with like vile comments. So I was a bit worried, but this time I had everything set up, so I had a computer just off screen that I could interact with, and we were using my phone to stream off of, and her phone to play the music. And I am bad with music. I don't know what's like. I know the songs when I hear them. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what the artist is. I'm not sure what songs to look for. I'm bad with lyrics themselves. So she was my maestro, as well as my muse, I guess. And we had a really good time that night. It was a lot of fun. We got to interact with some people. I was doing stuff like bear rolls over the carpet just for fun. There's one moment where for the dance, I like slid between her legs and out the other end. Yeah, when I first started, I was as bad as you could possibly be, but I had a lot of people, women in particular, who were very patient and kind with me, and I would like at first I was just bad. Then I learned the move. I learned a basic step and the move, and so for hour after hour, dance after dance, I would do that basic step with that move over and over and over, and nobody complained. And then I got a second move, so I'm doing two moves. And I got three moves, and then it got to the point where I learned the dances so well that I don't want to be constrained by what the steps are. I want to understand how everything is led so I can learn the basic step, but then break the basic step to lead something else all of a sudden. And to do that, you actually have to lead. You can't just, we are stepping together, right? Like, just because we both know what the steps are, we're side, side, back, forward, side, side, back. Like, I want to lead. I want to lead my partner side. I want to lead my partner to the other side. Like, I'm going to pre-lead with my body. I'm going to take her there, and then I'm going to like send her back, and then forward. And so being able to lead that, so side, side, back, and then we'll just hold there a sec, and then come forward. And so that's something that's a little bit different from the basic step that I have led. Side, 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 forward, back. Side, side, back, and forward. I want to lead everything that goes on. I want to lead. Yeah, Renata. That's how it's spelled with a capital R. Yeah, she's just sick. I don't know. People get sick from time to time. All right, so I think I want to do some triceps now. Your only dance experience, masquerade dances like Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, those masquerades, or yeah, there can be a skill, like it's a skill level where it involves a lot of practice and repetition just to get to the first step. Whereas with a lot of partner dances, you take an hour lesson and you're given the basic tools to go dance right there and then without having to have anything choreographed, without really having to worry about a lot of missteps that you can fall into. It's literally just you can start step to side, step to the other side, step back, forward, side, side, back, forward. And now you do that while holding somebody else's hands, and you just keep doing that to the beat, and you're dancing. And then you learn a move where you spin there, and then it's like get in the way, get out of the way. There's yeah, I haven't got sick since the pandemic started because I've been like I'm healthy, but as well I'm not sharing my personal space with a lot of people. When I was partner dancing, I got sick a lot more often because at times I was dancing with 40 women a week, and sometimes if in particular there's like a blues weekend workshop, so suddenly it's a weekend of blues, and blues is traditionally done chest to chest. So I'm chest to chest with 40 different people in one weekend, and whatever bacteria they have on them is on me. And if I've trained, like often I will train hard enough that my immune system weakens. Like the immune system is like I've gone like 6 months with a little bit of phlegm in my throat before, just because I was training so hard that my immune system, like my body was always recovering, and all the energy was going in recovering, and so my immune system was in the garbage. And that happens a lot. You get MMA fighters who are training for their fights. They're sick the whole time leading up. They're training like 6 hours a day. Their immune system's in the garbage. They're sharing their personal space with other people who got their own bacteria on them, and it's like everybody's sick all the time. That's just sort of taken for granted. Well, yeah, me too. Glad to hear it. Yeah, take care of yourself. Do what you need for yourself, first and foremost. Yeah, you can get some like big earmuff headphones, turn the music up, be in your own world, and you can like you get there. There's a lot of novelty. A lot of things are new. It's like figure out these machines. What does this machine feel like? What about when I like this machine? Okay, what if I just change it and I like bring my elbows in just a little bit more? How does that feel? A little bit out. Okay. Well, how, like play around the seats. What's the most comfortable for me? And you play around. And you figure these things out. What type of weight can I do? Well, how does that feel? Um, what's that? Well, I'm glad you're fully recovered. Um, I've heard a lot of people that what do they call them? Lifers or like there's a lot of people that have caught COVID and haven't fully recovered. And you look at like you can see sometimes like scarring like all in the like in different organs, and it's scary stuff. Yeah, I know. My mother isn't getting vaccinated, and she was working at the hospital the whole time through the pandemic. And now that they're going to make the vaccinations mandatory, which they should at the hospitals, she's going to be out of a job. Gray list. Yeah, okay, I just dropped that. I'll just leave that with you for a bit while I talk with Gray list here. So, um, drink brisk tea. You can drink, you can eat and drink anything you want, um, as long as you work it into your diet plan. A diet plan where if you love having something, if your first thought is, I got to take out these things I love, that's going to be a hard diet. Like when you're saying, do you think I can still drink brisk tea? I'm assuming you're thinking like, oh, I want to diet, I want to burn fat and this and that. So if you want to diet, you can still diet and have brisk tea. If you want to build muscle, you can still build muscle, have plenty of protein, um, have the calories that you need, and you can still have brisk tea. It comes down to how much calories you're having over a total day, over the entire week, over a month by month. So if you want to bulk up some, it just comes down to eating like consuming more calories than you burn, and laws of thermodynamics. You're going to gain weight for every 500 calories a day that you're in a surplus over your metabolism and your daily expenditure. You are going to gain about one. You can expect to gain about one. Like if you're not exercising, you can expect to gain or lose about 1 pound of fat a week. For optimal muscle building, you only need to be 300 calories above your maintenance, um, and that's um, but even there, that's more staying a little bit leaner. You can bulk up and gain a little bit more fat, but you can also gain more muscle at the same time. And it comes down to you gotta you gotta watch the scale. You gotta play around with your calories, and then see what that does to your body. Am I gaining weight too quickly? Am I not gaining weight quick enough? If you're not gaining quick enough, like you can fix that really quickly. Like add gravy to your two meals. Like just throw in, like you can throw in empty calories if you want to, if you're just caring about bulking. Whereas um, if you want to be more scientific with it and be a little bit more strict, not gain weight so quickly, it's better to stay consistent. When you're doing a science experiment, you basically keep all the variables the same and then change one variable and then see what happens. So like if you're having the same type of meals or the same type of calories every day, it's easier to do if you're having the same type of meals. If you're having tons of different types of meals, it's going to be harder to track the calories. It's going to be like you can do it, but it's going to be a crap ton of work. And everybody gets tired of counting calories after a while. All right, so you work for New Zealand Health, and your own brother refuses the vax. Well, my mother is into native and alternative medicines. She keeps trying to sell me on these like mushrooms that like cure cancer and it's gonna make me live forever. And it's like nothing's ever that simple. But mostly for her, she doesn't want to put any chemicals in her body. Well, then you can't work in the hospital. We don't need like a ton of unvaccinated people working in the hospital and then becoming victims of the disease and of COVID and adding to the problem. We don't need anybody adding to the problem working in the hospitals. So I don't know how to say that. Palladian Viking. Yeah, no, that's fine. I can can't hurt my feelings, but I as long as it's good natured, I'll be your bud. But it's like this kind of stuff interests me, so I'm spending my free time researching this, researching that, and it all really points to the same topic. So when I'm talking about this, I find I often get repetitive, but that's because the answer doesn't change. We've known the science for a long time, but we've been polishing it and fine-tuning it, particularly in the last like couple decades. You're having meetings? Well, thanks for coming by. I was happy to talk with you here. Yeah, you're glad your workplace are making vaccines mandatory. You just work in a kitchen. Yeah, it's I like it gives you a sense, like being vaccinated, like for me, it gives you a sense of security, but that's both good and bad to me. What I see is I see a lot of people who are vaccinated. That doesn't mean you still shouldn't, like I'm vaccinated. Like you should still be minimizing your social imprint. It's like you can still carry the bacteria. It's just you're doing what you can to minimize damage, keep society running as a whole with everybody else, protect those who are at risk. But what I see is like, okay, I'm vaccinated. I've done it. I don't have like COVID's over for me. Let's go party shoulder to shoulder with 1,000 people where you're basically statistically guaranteed to interact with people that have COVID. Yeah, like that. That's what I would caution. Just and it's like that doesn't mean you can't go out and meet with this person. It's no, it doesn't mean that. But I would suggest to just evaluate the risks, and just not do it lightly. Like if you want to go do something, just don't do it like lightly. That's not even really my advice. That's my philosophy. So I can take my risks, but I will understand their risks, and I won't just do it. I won't just do it without any thought. And there's people that I interact with regularly that I understand I'm interacting with everybody that they interact with, and those are risks that I've sort of accepted to take. But I know those people, and I still have a somewhat idea who they're what type of interactions they're having in their day. I gotta tell you, I've really enjoyed this workout, being able to chat with all you guys. Particularly how constant it's been. Often I'll be chatting for like 15 minutes, and then it's like, okay, now I'm by myself for a bit, and then it's like, okay, now I do the music. Here, I got the music, I got the people, I got the weights. It's good on every front. I'm getting to hear about Gubster and then like the hope for his like future developments and as things are progressing. And I'm hoping for you, bud. Like just going out there with a positive attitude does a lot to just influence how things turn out. We found cheap copies of Resident Evil File 1 and 2. What are some of my hobbies? All right, so I have always been a night owl, and I've always looked for things to keep me entertained in like throughout the lonely hours. And a couple of years ago, I found that there are like, if not like maybe hundreds of thousands of quality hours of chess content on YouTube. So I spent a couple of years studying chess before I even played a single game. And I will play bullet occasionally now, but I still enjoy studying chess more than I actually like playing it. And I'm pretty good at chess. I don't necessarily know what my rating is right now because ratings stress me out, and I just like to go at it a little bit at my own leisure, stress-free. So I like playing chess. I like being active throughout the day. I will pick up different sports. I will pick up like I've dabbled in bodybuilding, strength training, like powerlifting. But the one thing I really struggled on was Olympic lifting. It was not for me. I gave it my best shot, and it everything just hurt. It was like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't pick it up that fast. I struggled. Partner dancing was a large part of my life before the world shut down. Every Monday was West Coast, so I would like go to a lesson from maybe 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and then I'd go dance from 9:30 till 11:30 at night every Monday. So that's one day a week. Every Monday, West Coast was my favorite individual dance. And then Saturdays, I would do swing dancing. And swing dancing, it just always makes me feel better. It's always like happy music, jazz hands all the time, and you're kicking, and it's got a special place in my heart because swing dancing is what I started with. Every Sunday, I went and I danced to live blues music at a blues bar. We had a nice little community there. And then Friday night was just up to whatever was available, like what's going on Friday night. And there was always something going on Friday night. I would often party hop. So Saturday, I would finish my swing dancing at like 11:30, and then I'm like, okay, what party is going on now? Where am I going? I think my camera is, yeah. So I go swing dancing, and then I'd go out do the more like sexy type dancing, or like go out there and go to a club or something, and then feel like a rock star, just or go to a house party and just. There's times where it's like some guy's basement just dancing with several people till like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then there was times where I would be learning a dance routine, and maybe that took up like 1 or 2 days of the week. So partner dancing was a large part of my life before the pandemic shut down, or before the pandemic shut everything down. And they're starting up again. But I am really hesitant to start again. Like people are getting antsy, but I'm seeing them like what's happening is the different dance communities are getting together and they're basically isolating themselves in their pockets. Whereas like like 12 people that are dancing, but they're all dancing together. They minimize their contacts with other people, but they prioritize their social life together. So they accept that risk. These 12 people, but for me that's too much. I don't want to join that group and suddenly there's 12 new people that I'm interacting with regularly. Swing dancing, yeah. Often with partner dancing, you if you look up videos, you'll often be directed to Jack and Jill competitions, which is you have a dance style, whether it's swing dancing, blues, West Coast, salsa, bachata. Well, actually, salsa and bachata are less likely to have Jack and Jills, but they do exist. And what you do is you have a partner. Often you've never danced with this person before, and you're dancing with somebody for the first time to music that you don't get to choose, and you have to lead and follow, and you're judged on those competitions. And it looks so amazing when it's done right because everything is led, everything is followed. So you can do some amazing things that look like it. This has to be choreographed, but it's not. It's really just directing directing your partner's body and listening to the music and reacting accordingly. There are some amazing Jack and Jills for swing dance. There's amazing like the skill level for West Coast is a lot higher. Yeah, yeah, but people are starting again, regardless when it comes to dance. And what's got me more worried is they're going indoors because it's getting cold out. So um, the salsa and bachata lessons I was going to every Wednesday, they've moved indoors now. So the same people that I would social distance with outside are now in like the rooms are pretty well ventilated and they're often quite large, at least the ones that they're using. Whereas the other smaller, close knit, really enclosed dance studios, because they have dance studios that are really just like office space with really nice floors. They're just not using those ones right now. But it still worries me, right? I don't want like there's a lot of elderly in the dance community as well. Like there's a lot of like particularly when it comes to ballroom and some of the Latin dances, there's a lot of elderly that partner dance, and like I don't want to see COVID start spreading through people that I know and love, right? Like you don't want anyone to get COVID, but it's another form of like it's something else when it's going through people that you know and care about. And I have a lot of people that I care about, particularly like even if not getting sick, shutting down the economy or shutting down the service industries in the dance community. There are a lot of people that are in the arts. There's a lot of people that are actually in the service industry, and like going into this, they knew they were out of work. Pandemic is like, I gotta figure out what to do to live because like I am a professional singer. That's what I do for a living. How do I make money now? Or I'm a musician, right? Like I get to meet a lot of musicians. Um, I meet a lot of people who are professional, like they're in like Broadway musicals and this and that, and it's hard, right? And I can't solve the world, but okay, so I just realized I haven't been paying attention to my follows today. I got a follow 4 hours ago, which is surprising me because I wasn't streaming 4 hours ago. But thanks for the follow, hey Sulfuric, as well as Greylist. Sorry for not catching that right away. there's a lot less you can do dancing wise when you're on your knees. You can't even really do much with your hips. It's just like, all right, so what do I want to still do today? I think I'm gonna just stand up and I'll figure something out. I want to do dips. That's what I want to do. Let's get this. My travel bench is $100. One of the best buys I ever made. I love this thing. It's so, I don't know. It's got a lot of utility in it. So I got my parallel bars. Let's do some dips. The song went from all like pulse, 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 pulse to just slow. I actually don't know what I'm listening to. I have it on random Spotify playlists that aren't mine. I'm listening to Heavy Hearted by the Jungle Giants. I'm tripping over stuff here. Yeah, I can't really go all out at the gym. I don't want to distract from anyone's workout. But after having spent so long with home workouts, just being able to jam and actually just let my body do what it wants to do mid-song, I've been sneaking in a little more gas when it was at the gym, where like, even if it's just like the head bob, and it's like, yeah, I'm having a good time, I'm here. But I'll often do it when there's nobody around, and it's like, but it's more subtle. Architecture class, where they want you to present your ideas and sketches with your teaching assistants and groups, and some students were already showing off their portfolios. Uh, Dips. I said I was doing dips, and instead I'm running out of breath dancing instead. Not to mention, I'm making it a lot hotter here really quickly. Hello. Bye-bye. Hello. Bye-bye. I can't stay balanced. It's been a while since I've tried any inversion stuff. I don't want to go up to it. I get the fan directly on me. I always forget, and then it's too late. All right, so normally I'll bring out my chest isn't recovered from my last workout. I was doing really heavy flies, and I can feel it right in here. So maybe dips aren't on the cards today. You know what? I'm gonna give it a good shot. Yeah, like even just holding here, as soon as I start to activate in here, I can feel it. Seems like a fun class. Well, while things are fun, that's a better learning environment. Yeah. I'm not fully recovering my chest, so what can I do to put this? So if I stay more upright, it'll be more triceps. So maybe I'll do, whatever. I'll focus on when I'm standing up. That's when you see the triceps pop out. They're just trying to stand here like this, or not standing here, but keep the arms fully extended. You got the nice. Come on. I'm thinking about things. There are things that I want to get back to learning. I want to learn how to do like the forward plunge. I was in the middle of learning it, and I just sort of got sidetracked and stopped. No, straight arms. But maybe it's not a good idea to try it when my chest is tender. All right. Let's get a second though. No, it's not good. It's not working for me. I need 2 days off from my chest. Show off my tricep muscle. I got a nice tricep pump today. All this is just meat. I don't have the best light for this. Oh, I'm starting to get tired of. I can't get my abs flexed anymore. Yeah, I agree. Schedules can be very important. It's not like often you just don't feel like doing something that day. Well, it's in the schedule. It's what you do, and it's often hard to get that impetus to begin. But then once you start, then you just fall into patterns. As well as schedules are good for your mental health, particularly sleep schedules. One of the best, like if you're having troubles with your mental health, one of the best things you can do, try to get on a regular sleep schedule. But that can also be easier than said when you're up at night and you can't sleep because you have anxiety. But you can still do whatever you can to set yourself up so that you don't have tons of stimuli that are keeping you awake at night. So I want to go to sleep at this time. Well, find things that work for you. Maybe you have a bath first, and then afterwards, and you get cleaned up, and then maybe read a couple chapters of a book, and then go to bed. And maybe that's a system that works for you. When you go to bed, like keep the electronics away. Don't overstimulate your eyes. A lot of times you're staring at the computer. It's very bright. If you have the brightness turned up, it can keep you up for hours. And you're just like so wired. You might not realize it, but well, almost all of us struggle with our sleep schedule these days. It's because we're basically all living in Vegas all the time, flashing lights, entertainment, right? It's like right there, always ready. Only now it's at a click of a fingertip. It comes down to a point where it takes discipline sometimes, where you just gotta put it away. Yeah, I got a new laptop maybe a year before the pandemic started, and the first thing I found is I would not be able to sleep, and it's just my new laptop was just so bright. It's a gamer's laptop, really nice laptop, really big screen, but I was bombarding myself with all this like stimulus that I like the only thing I can compare it to is some people will take not melanoma. Okay, so there's melanomin pills. No. Okay, I can't remember what they are. They start with the letter M, and they're basically the hormone that regulates sleep. Well, sometimes those things can, like you take them and then you get sleepy, you go to bed. Where other times it has the exact opposite effect, where you take the same pill, but the way it messes with your hormones is you will not be able to fall asleep. You will be up for hours, and that just happens sometimes. And I've tried having those like over the counter Yeah, melatonin. That's yeah. I could not think of that name for the life of me. So melatonin, right? You get that. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes you have it, you are not going to sleep that night, and that's how I felt with getting off my laptop. And then once I realized that, once it started to get late, I would purposely dim the lights. Like I had the brightness on my laptop brighter than I've had it on any other computer screen before. Constantly, I'd be like playing a video game, but then after normally I play my video games, I shut it off, I go to bed. Well, now I play my video games, I shut it off, and I lie there, and I just like completely wired. It feels like I'm on a failed melatonin trip. F Lux. Set your light screen settings. Hmm. Yeah. Well, like you take melatonin, you're affecting your hormones. Um, and then even then, if you're not used to something, your body's fluctuating. Well, once you stay regular with something, your hormones start to regulate, and it's supposed to do more for you than not, but it also affects. Some people are affected by it a little bit differently, because like yeah, one thing I found though is bombarding your system with zinc and magnesium before bed. It like I that's supposed to help with sleep, and you're supposed to get more like REM sleep. Um, I haven't. It's been a long time since I've looked at any of the science behind that. But when I was taking it, I would go to bed and I'd fall asleep like normal, but when I woke up, I was just instantly like there was no like 5 minute snooze alarm. It was like I'm up and I'm fully awake, and it felt like a trip because you're like I'm almost loopy. Like I get up and it's just like this is different than normal. What's going? It's like when you're wearing glasses and if you bend your glasses a little bit, the world just looks a little bit differently and it takes a while to get used to it. That's what would happen to me when I took these zinc and magnesium tablets before bed, and they're the biggest pills that I'd ever have in my life, to the point where I'd have to take them 15 minutes before bed with lots of water. Otherwise, if I took them and then went to bed, they would settle in my esophagus and they wouldn't actually get pushed down into my stomach. I could just be able to sit there while I'm laying on my back. But it was an interesting feeling waking up like that, where like the first times you get loopy, but then when you're taking it regularly, you just wake up and you're just alert. So there's no snoozing and sort of gradually waking up. It's like you sleep, and then when you wake up, you're like, boom, I'm fully awake and I don't feel sleepy. Um, but at the same time, I don't need to take these things to really get enough sleep. And honestly, sometimes it's just a pain in the butt to like manage taking vitamins, to manage taking okay, so I'm taking this supplement here, taking that supplement here. I'd rather just get what I want through sleep, exercise, or like through food, exercise, and like regular sleep. Well, it's nothing. It's not like medicine. It's just really just bombarding yourself with zinc and magnesium. It has like no negative effect on you really. Like you're not gonna. It's just it affects the body a certain way that you like it's different. I'm not necessarily sure if it's better. I just I haven't been well read up on the science in a long time on that, so I'm not too familiar with what the current literature is on that. But at the time when I was taking them, the literature looked um, it looked promising. Anyways, I think I'm going to find somebody to raid right now. I was thinking about having a video game stream right now, but I think I just want to shower, get clean, maybe have a protein shake, and maybe read before bed. I read almost every day. Well, actually, I read every day. So I like reading my fantasy novels. Sometimes I'll read like scientific studies, but other times I might be read this. I might read. But I like reading, and I read every day. And sometimes that's just what the doctor ordered to help get me ready for bed. I am feeling in the mood for a choose your own adventure book. Actually, I have probably 100 choose your own, maybe not 100. I've probably got like 70, 50 to 70 choose your own adventure books, and I think I'm gonna just grab one and. All right, so who's going on? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so I'm seeing who's on right now. All right, so I'm going to send you to this woman here just because she's working out in her bedroom. Looks like she's putting in some good work, and it looks like she's following along with the video. And her setup is basically as what's like homebrewed as mine is. So I got the V. Yeah, well, I grew up with like Citadel of Chaos. Okay, I'm gonna cancel this raid for now. And there is it's almost like a Dungeons and Dragons type of choose your own adventure. Citadels of Chaos. It's a Steve Jackson choose your own adventure novel. And back in like the 80s, these guys came out with tons of these things where you roll your characters and you actually battle by rolling dice, as well as choosing your own adventure novel. And I bought every book they ever created because originally they were really hard to find. You could only find them through like the old like they were thick paper novels. And a couple years ago they remade them all. So like maybe 2014 they remade most of them, and I bought the full collection, and I love it. I go through there, it brings me back down nostalgia lane. Then I started buying like even the Goosebumps. I started buying the choose your own adventure novels that like the space pirate ones that I had read when I was like in grade 5 and 6, and and then I went a little bit overboard, and then at one point in time I couldn't find any more choose your adventure novels to read. Right, I got like Romeo and Juliet and ninjas, like there's like I got a Romeo and Juliet choose your own adventure novel where it's like Romeo, Juliet, and then ninjas. It's like you can follow the main storyline, and it sort of tells you which ones they are, or you can branch off where like ninjas get involved, aliens get involved. I don't know, like tons of different stuff. Yeah. I'm not that big on board games, but I bought a board game that was based off of the choose your own adventure novel that you can do with somebody else, and that was a lot of fun. Where it was like the House of Doom or something. But I'm going to raid this woman here. I'm going to start packing it down for the night. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining me. This is actually a nice little view. You can't see my waist doesn't look as thick as it is when I do this, so it makes me look like a little bit more aesthetic here. But anyways, I enjoyed my workout today. It was good to talk with you guys. The Netflix has a Black Mirror. Pick your own. Markiplier has a choose your own adventure story. He's a very famous YouTuber, and I went through his choose your own adventure novel. Apparently, he's making another one that's like 2 or 3 times as big, and so I'm excited to see how that turns out. Thanks. I've put in the effort to one posture. Posture does wonders for. I'm gonna cancel this again. I'll rate her in a minute. So you want aesthetics, posture, and then proportions, and like one thing is, if you build up like a really big chest and you don't work on your back, like your chest is going to actually pull your. You see a lot of people that get like the rounded shoulders, and that's just because everything's pulling, and it's not a very aesthetic look. You got to also be able to open up, like having good range of motion, right? You don't want to be like stiff. That's like you don't want the head jutting out as well. That's you got to work on posture, upright. But let's rate this woman for real right now. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. It was a good work. Like wasn't a great workout, but it was a great night. I didn't really want to push myself too hard today. It was a fully productive day, and this is just what the doctor ordered. Bye everybody. You want to work on your lats when you get into the gym. You want a bigger looking back, make sure you get your rows in. And you can do pull downs, which might make you have like a little bit of a thicker look. Make sure you get your rows in, pull downs, try different variations, get as much volume in as you can. Train your back at least twice a week, and you're good. Then just give yourself a couple months, and you'll see progress. If you're consistent with it, like you'll see consistent progress until you get to a certain point. But that's gonna take you a year to get to. Bye bye.